Good morning, everyone. Grab your coffee, grab your muffins. Let's celebrate and ride this Wakelet wave with me. If you have not been exposed to Wakelet before, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to encourage you to stop and take a step back and try it out. It's very easy. It's simple, but it is so powerful also. Wakelet is a great way to organize resources by category, by topic, all sorts of different things. And it's so easy to do. If you simply go to wakelet.com, very simple URL to remember as well, and you create a free profile. What this will allow you to do is to create what we call these collections. And I want to show you how easy it is to start a new collection. Because again, it was a new tool for me and I'm very, very new. You see that I actually have followers and people that I am following myself. And again, I am fairly new to this. I will be honest with you. It was probably February when I started dipping my toes in, and I started using Wakelet for conference presentations to organize my content and to be able to efficiently and easy share my resources with participants. A lot of times at conferences, you have people coming from all different directions. They may have Office 365, they may have Google Classroom, they may have a Mac, they may have a PC. This really doesn't matter because it's web-based, and I'm able to share various different links with them. Just one link for my collection and people can access it. But I want to show you how else that can be used and so powerful. I do want to show you that it is social. So when we talk about those social PLNs, you know, I'm an MIE expert and I love being an MIE expert. I'll talk about that a little bit more later. But this is also another way for me to make additional connections. And so those people that may not be MIE experts, you can connect with them as Wakelet users, and you can also become a Wakelet ambassador, which is one of my next steps, and I'm in the process of doing that as well. But here you can see that I'm following people, and so I can just show you that, yes, the wonderful Tammy Dunbar. I'm following the Wakelet community and some other people as well. And so I can come up here and I can do a search for anybody that I would like to search for. And you can put in any particular person that you would want and do a search for that person. And you will see you can search collections. So if you want to search a specific collection topic, you can definitely do that. And now you will see I did a little search for my good friend Noreen Dooley, and she happens to have multiple accounts. And so I'm just going to happen to follow this one. And it's so easy because I can take a look and find this person. So if you have people on Twitter that you're following, maybe they are very heavy into using Wakelet and they have a lot of great resources. You will see here that this particular profile, she doesn't have any collections yet. So I will go down to this one, and this will allow me to see, all right, does she have things here? Yes, this is her primary. And so I will follow her here. Now I have that connection through Wakelet with Noreen Dooley, and I'm able to see all the fabulous things that she is going to take a look at and share. And now I have these people here that I can follow, and I can search for those people at any point in time, which is so powerful. You can also see your individual collections. Now, what's great about Wakelet, we talk about collaboration, communication, curation. We can curate, we can collaborate, and we can also do that with other people in Wakelet. So we have my personal collections, which are here, and I have 4 of them, but I also have group collections. So now I can collaborate with other people to create fabulous Wakelet collections to be able to share with everybody and anybody that we want to. And so this is a great way to also collaborate with fellow coworkers or other educators that have similar interests with you as well. And you both have the ability to edit them at any time, and they're always updated. Okay, so let's take a look at how easy it is to create a new collection. You will see here that I have some, and I will resort back to my Wakelet and Smell the Coffee that I've been working on specifically for this, but I want to just share with you how to create a new collection. It's so easy. You click create new. You have some settings over here, which are fairly new. They've moved some of the settings into this new setting gear over here where your appearance is here. So once it's created and you add a cover image, you can always go back and change that. If you want, it's like changing the furniture in your office. If you want to give it a new updated look, you can definitely do that. And then you also have the sharing capabilities, and we'll talk a little bit about more that in a little bit. But here I can add a cover image. You can upload your own images, but look at this. They have a great library for you to start from. And so you can do a search on various different things. Let's just start with the water this morning. Okay, and it will bring it up here and show you what that looks like. Okay, and you can add a title. My first Wakelet. You can give it a description. Now, how do you add content? It's so easy. You simply click this plus right here, and you have the ability to include any of these things. So let's take a look at the power. Any URL that you have access to, whether it's a website, any URL. You can add simple text, a YouTube video, tweets from Twitter, bookmarks that you might have. So remember when Eric was talking earlier this morning, if you were with us, Eric was talking about bookmarks and how we used to do all these bookmarks. And I know, Jeff, you have bookmarks. We've all had social bookmarking that we used to use a few years ago. It seems like a few years ago. But what do we do with those? They all sit in our computer and we have to go back to our favorites bar and find these bookmarks. Well, I can create a Wakelet for my bookmarks, just one idea. You can also add images, upload PDFs. You can access your Google Drive or your OneDrive, and one of my favorites, Flipgrid. So now I can have a Wakelet of my students' Flipgrid topics and the grids that we have for more classes. And so there's so many different possibilities here. And so I'm just going to show you that there, but also your changes are automatically saved. So the power of this is that I could be working on my desktop that doesn't have a battery backup. If the power goes out because we have storms or something happens, my information is going to automatically be saved periodically, so I don't have to worry about losing that. Okay, and also I have the ability to determine who's going to be able to see my collection. And so here I can click on private and I can go say, you know what, I want everybody to see this because this is great information and I want people to be able to take a look at it. It's valuable. So, I'll just open it up to everyone. It can be unlisted. This will allow me to share the link for my Wakelet with specific people that I want to have access to it, but only those people that I share that link with would be able to see it. Or if this is just mine, or maybe I've just started this Wakelet and it's not ready to be sent out for the public, or I just want to get it all created and situated before I actually unlist it, that's great. I can keep it private, or maybe it's even my own private and I'm not going to change the permissions. I can do that. I don't have to list it and I don't have to make it public. It can be my own private Wakelet. So think about this in your own everyday work life. If you have resources from all over the place, if you have, Minecraft information, or you have Office 365 information, like Eric mentioned this morning, Teams is a huge thing. There's always these new updates that are coming with Teams, which I absolutely love. But how do you keep up with that? You can add that to your private collection, and then you have the ability to go through and look at it as your own resource, a personal resource at any point in time. I'll give you a couple of ideas about how Wakelet can be used also. So I'm going to go back from editing and I'm going to go back to my collections here. Okay, so I can click on Wakelet here and it'll take me back to what I call my dashboard. But here you will see this Wakelet and Smell the Coffee. I have some various different resources and I wanted to share with you just some of the things that have come about. If you are not sure how you can use Wakelet in your school, I've actually created this new Wakelet that just has some information about Wakelet and how you can get started. So here is an actual Wakelet collection that I've added to my Wakelet so you can see the power. Not only is it just my resources, but I can add phenomenal people like Robin and add her Wakelet collection with all these great resources into mine without having to take all of the pieces out of hers to put into mine. So now I'm able to reference and share and collaborate with so many other people and have all of their powerful resources in mine as well. And so it's a great sharing community. And so here you will see these are just ways of using Wakelet. Now, students can use this. It's absolutely fabulous for student voice. I will tell you that I have done some presentations at universities on for a senior seminar course on digital portfolios. And what does it mean to have a digital portfolio in today's environment? Let me tell you what, when I graduated from university, that was what I did. I had a digital portfolio and I worked in the lab where we created those. And that was a requirement for graduation from my small university in North Dakota at Valley City State. Yay, go Vikes. But what I did is that I helped people to create these digital portfolios. And back then, the easiest tool for us to use, PowerPoint. How crazy is that? We were linking slides to use PowerPoint as a digital portfolio. Now there's so many different tools out there. Wakelet can be one of those as well to demonstrate and show what you are capable of doing instead of just giving a piece of paper. It's so powerful. So these are just some ideas that Robin put together about how to use Wakelet in your schools. And so there's resources for educators, getting students involved. Maybe your school newsletter becomes a Wakelet and you continuously add information to that Wakelet and you share that one link to your parents and they always have it. So it's not a reoccurring thing. Or if you have a classroom newsletter, or if you have, I used to have a snake in my science classroom. His name was Sebastian, and my students had the ability to take care of Sebastian and learn about him. And so we could keep a diary for Sebastian. And that's one way that we could use Wakelet and have that diary for his well-being, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of different ways. You can see here, I am big into Minecraft, and one of my collections is Minecraft education resources. But you know, one of the things that I found that was so powerful is that when this COVID situation happened and our education as we knew it got flipped upside down and no one knew what was coming next, I wanted to have an area where I could just share some resources with people. And so as I used my professional learning networks, both my Ncce Expert group, my Minecraft mentor group, all of the different networks that I have, my Twitter group. I mean, I use Twitter on a daily basis. That is like my news feed now. I don't even turn the TV on because I actually get the news a lot faster and I get to see the news that I want to see. But here, I created this remote learning resources group. And I know most of you know Mike Tolfson, and he is an absolute gem. He is so good on Twitter, and you can always find all sorts of different things. But as remote learning came about, there were a lot of Microsoft tools that were on the forefront, and Microsoft Teams being one of those. So I was able to put this quick start guide that Microsoft put out there as a resource. Using PowerPoint, a lot of people didn't realize, and not only in K-12, but I work in higher ed as well with Ncce, and a lot of those professors use PowerPoint for their lectures, and they weren't aware that they could actually keep the PowerPoint slide decks that they have used in their face-to-face classroom and do voiceovers and do recordings so that they can now enhance that and add forms to it for assessment. There were so many things that they could do. And so I was able to share this with them, that they don't have to reinvent the wheel last minute because everything has to go online. So a lot of different ways that this tool can be used and how powerful it really can be. I can share tweets from other people. I mean, again, the sky's the limit really when it comes to Wakelet. And so this wave, it may start out very small for you. And if you're not a good surfer, you might just start on your belly and just kind of body surf that one. But as you get going, you're going to start to feel more confident. You're going to start to meet new people and explore new resources. And another thing that's here for you, if you are a starter and a newbie like I was, and I still don't consider myself an expert yet, and I'm always going to be learning. I don't know that I ever will say that. I have this showcase that I can go to right on the Wakelet site, and I can find all of these different Wakelets that are created by all these fabulous people, Alberto. And again, some of these names will sound familiar to you. These are people that I have met through our Ncce expert program, and being able to connect with my fellow colleagues and see the fabulous work that they do and be able to share that with the people that I'm connected with. So this showcase is amazing resource for you. If you are hesitant to start building your own, that's fine. Take a look at what is already here for you. If you want to learn more about Flipgrid and remote learning, all of these Wakelets are here for you to take a look at. So you can use the Wakelet site. It's a great resource to get started, create your account, maybe start a new private collection for yourself just to kind of get your toes wet and then get going, and you can start sharing these with a couple of people and use that priority for your collections and set those how you want them to be. And maybe once you get going and you feel a little bit more confident, you can share them completely with the whole Wakelet community and everyone. But I do want to encourage you also, excuse me, before my time is up here, I'm going to encourage you, if you are not on Twitter, and this is kind of a plug for Twitter, but not really, because this is just my passion here. Since I have been exposed to Twitter, I have found that my connections, the people that I have met globally, and the resources that I have access to, which is where I find a lot of my information for my Wakelet collections, can be found right here on Twitter. I will also tell you that if you have not created a Twitter account, do that and follow Wakelet. They send out a newsletter every once in a while. They give you all of these updates and they highlight creative, amazing educators. For example, this last collection that came out in an email, Audrey was one that was one of her Wakelets was selected to be highlighted in that collection email that went out to everyone that you can subscribe to as well, and just have all of those resources coming in. It's amazing. And so if you haven't created a Twitter account, do it and just follow Wakelet. Start out there, start small. The other thing that I want to share with you also, and it's about time for coffee, is to go to that educator center that Jeff was talking about with Eric. If you go to education.microsoft.com, not only can you apply to be an MIE expert before July 15th, which is 4 days, you can take courses within the Educator Center as well and get professional development for yourself. And there is even a course on Wakelet. It's the 5 C's with Wakelet. And it takes, less than an hour. And it's fairly new. So it was published actually July 6th of 2020. So it's fairly new. But you have the ability to go in and take this. And it's a fabulous, fabulous course. And of course, you get credit for it, badges and points and all of those good things. So that's really all I have. Jeff?
I'm sitting here learning so much, and I'm really excited that so many others online that are watching us live are learning about this. I never knew all of those things that Wakelet can do, not only to keep me organized, but help keep my students organized. The obvious question is, where do we get started? And for many of this, I'm looking at just jump right in and get started today.
Exactly. Yeah. I tell you what, I went to wakelet.com. It's an easy URL. You go there, create your free account, and just start dipping your toes in. Like I said, body surf that first wave, start your own private collection to begin with, and then just go from there. You'll be riding those big pipeline waves in a matter of time.
Is it possible to use Wakelet to organize your family structure? Things that you want to do with your kids, vacations, quarantine items.
Yes.
How can you use that to keep, uneducation organized?
Let me tell you what, one of the things that I started doing is I do a lot of traveling, not only for work with Ncce, but I love to travel on my own. And so I've been very fortunate to go so many places, but I want to keep track of all of the places that I've gone, the things that I've seen. When you go to this destination, when you're in India, where did you go, the sites that you see. I can create a Wakelet for my vacations, or I also have a Wakelet that's going to be coming up in my mind of places that I want to go. Once all of this is done and I'm able to go somewhere, what's the top place that I want to go and the things that I want to see? You can do a recipe book. This is an easy one. Create a recipe book and you always have it with you. That's the thing because you can access Wakelet. There is an app on your phone, the Wakelet app. Get it, use it. It's so powerful. You can access, you can edit. And so if I'm traveling, if I'm camping with my family, I'm staying in a cabin and I want to cook a recipe that I had at home, I don't have to bring all that with me. I have it right there on my phone.
Well, you know what I'm going to do with Wakelet the first moment that I get signed up, Charity? I'm going to be organizing the great websites, Twitter addresses, and resources for all of my Ncce expert friends. I know you're a Microsoft Innovative Educator, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah. I'm an Ncce expert. Yep.
Talk to us a little bit about the program. Today, we're celebrating the fact that, for so many of us, Ncce means family. And I'm going to ask everybody these two questions. Have you renominated yourself by going over to the Microsoft Education website? And have you taken this process yet, or are you still going to do this?
Hey, I will be honest with you. I have not submitted mine as of yet. It is in process, but that is because I'm gathering all of my Wakelets and I'm gathering all of my tweets, and then my sway is like going to be big. So yeah, I have 4 days left. I'm not going to wait to the last minute. I will get it in by the end of this weekend, but yeah, I'm still in the process of working on it.
Talk to me about your favorite Ncce memory.
Oh my gosh. There are so many, but I have to tell you, because when I first started as an Ncce, I was housed and based in North Dakota. North Dakota is not the most populated state. And I actually did teach in a very, very remote school district. We were 80 miles squared. And so we had 3 different school districts that were combined into one. And so coming from small school districts and not having a lot of resources, this family has really opened up my doors and exposed me to people not only around the US, but globally. And so I feel like I have these coworkers and colleagues that I can call on at any time. If I have questions, I can reach out and they're right there to help me answer any questions that I have and give me suggestions or teach me something new. I absolutely love this family. And my biggest, I think, experience was to be able to go to Redmond, to the Microsoft campus for one of the Ncce summits. And that was so fun to be able to see everyone face to face. You can see them virtually, but it's just not the same, where I can actually put a face with the name. And absolutely, that was one of my favorite things.
Now, one of the things that we want to make sure that we talk about today is the importance of great professional development. And we always want to thank our friends at Ncce for helping us put this on. I know you're a member of the Ncce family. Talk to us a little bit about the organization and some of the great things that it's doing for educators worldwide.
Let me tell you what, I am part of Ncce. I've been a part, I want to say I'm a veteran. I'm not one of the old people, but I've been around since 2012. And I have absolutely loved it every sense of the way. And Ncce is a nonprofit. And that's what a lot of people may not understand, that we're a nonprofit and we are all educators. And so we understand going into school districts and working with administrators, because we have administrators that are a part of Ncce as professional learning specialists. But what's really exciting is that we have trained over 40,000 educators this year. Just myself, I was able to reach out and train over 4,000 educators from the beginning of March through the end of May. So, that is really exciting for me, being able to touch the lives of educators and kind of empower them to empower our students. And that's something that we really take pride in. And also that we have just started an e-learning branch, and we have a new e-learning director, Dr. Michael Higley, and he's a dear friend of mine, and so excited to have that aspect, because now, education has changed. And so we are really trying to stay ahead, if not intact, with what's happening in education. So that's something that I absolutely love about Ncce as well.
You've been listening to the TEACHERCAST Educational Network, hosted by Jeff Bradbury. Please reach out to the show with all of your questions on Twitter @TEACHERCAST or online at www.teachercast.net. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. And please take a moment to write a review in the App Store.